This was somebody that was issued that CDL actually in two different states, Washington State and in California, illegally entered the country in 2018, applied for work authorization in the fall of 2020, was rejected. That was under Trump 45. Reapplied for work authorization in 2021 under Biden and was granted. And yet this guy, he abysmally failed the English test, like not even close, like not even broken English. Like this guy did not know English. He comes through the southern border illegally. He gets caught and he claims asylum. That is not what asylum is for. Most people know we had a terrible thing happen in St. Lucie County where you had an illegal alien who was driving this big tractor truck and decided to try to do a U-turn where they have the official use only. Those are little gaps in the highway for highway patrol and law enforcement, and it was obviously a total disaster to even try that. You had a car coming that ran into it, and 3 Floridians were killed. This was somebody that was issued that CDL actually in 2 different states, Washington State and in California, and should have never obviously been behind the wheel. Doesn't even speak English. You gotta, if you don't want to drive, you gotta know the road signs and stuff, and it's just the reality. So it was a really horrible thing. At the time, there was not any eyewitnesses. He didn't speak English. So they got the all the facts they could, but then when they got the videotape, they saw. So immediately he fled to California, obviously sanctuary state. He was able to be detained in California, and so today I'm sending Florida's new Lieutenant Governor Jay Collins to California, and tomorrow morning he is going to take possession of this illegal alien, extradite him back to the state of Florida. And we're going to throw the book at him when he gets back here for what he did. So you can count on that.
Williams with WPBF 25 News. My question is going back to your first point about the truck driver from last week. Can you detail how state troopers were able to determine that Singh entered the U.S. illegally?
Well, it wasn't the state troopers that did it. It was in conjunction with federal authorities. So the feds were able to provide pretty much the whole dossier on this guy. As soon as the video leaked and then we knew that there was a crime that was committed, they were able to get that information in short order. So illegally entered the country in 2018, applied for work authorization in the fall of 2020, was rejected. That was under Trump 45. Reapplied for work authorization in 2021 under Biden and was granted the work authorization. Eventually receives a CDL, a commercial driver's license from Washington State, which is a sanctuary state, and then took that license and applied for a similar license in California. And so the California license was granted at least in part on the fact that he had a CDL in Washington State. So I think and then when he was identified after the video came out, he was detained. The feds, this happened within the last few days, they conducted a language test on him. You're supposed to be reading these signs. You're supposed to know what the hell you're doing. That's true if you're driving a little VW Bug, much less a tractor trailer. And yet this guy, he abysmally failed the English test, like not even close, like not even broken English. Like this guy did not know English, and yet somehow he was given a CDL by Washington and a CDL by the state of California. And that should not have happened. That is wrong that happened. So you have a real serious issue and a breakdown here. But I would say part of the problem, and I mentioned this yesterday, this guy came from India, right? He comes through the southern border illegally. He gets caught and he claims asylum. That is not what asylum is for. First of all, if he was really being persecuted in India, how many countries did he pass through where he could have claimed this? You don't just get to come halfway around the world and use that as a card to get it. So then he claims asylum, but we have this totally screwy system where he's then given a court date, then it's postponed, then this. So it's like if you come illegally and you give a bogus asylum claim, under how the law's been applied, at least up until President Trump took office in January, you're basically giving yourself years in this country. That is not a disincentive to come illegally. That's not a disincentive not to overstay visa. That's not so you had that was going on, and I'm just thinking to myself, it's like, well, wait a minute. We all know this is a problem. You can't have a situation in which a President Biden can open the border, millions and millions come in, and then a President Trump's trying to rectify that, and it's basically you got to jump through like 36 different bureaucratic hula hoops just to be able to return somebody to their home country. So it's kind of heads they win, tails we lose, the way it's set up right now. And so my question is, we have a Republican Congress. All these guys, I've watched them for years. They all run, and when they're running for election, oh, I'm so tough on border immigration, no illegal, all that. Then they get in there, and what do they do about it? Have they passed legislation? Have they sought legislation to clean up the mess? Have they passed legislation to be able to get this done so that we don't have these problems happen? No. They've been in for how many months? They haven't even attempted it that I've seen. What about sanctuary states? Now, we're not a sanctuary state in Florida. We banned sanctuary cities my first year. We've got very strong policies, and it's honestly, it benefits citizens in Florida to have those strong policies. But why are they still funding sanctuary states? Why are they still funding sanctuary cities? Why doesn't Congress use the power of the purse and say, your funding is contingent upon following federal law with respect to immigration? You can't be a sanctuary jurisdiction. You can't, California, they've probably done 1 million driver's licenses to illegal aliens in the past decade. Now, Florida law, we don't recognize that license in Florida. We don't issue driver's license for people who are here illegally. We don't let local governments do ID cards because, some of the local governments would want to get involved in that. We ban that. We don't even let the NGOs do it because we know they're trying to generate a system where people can get benefits, vote, whatever, when they're not entitled to it. So we've done it right. But how is it that these sanctuary jurisdictions are able to get away with it? And I think they get away with it because Congress, they're basically on the sidelines. It's like they just kind of sit in the cheap seats and watch everything unfold without actually using their constitutional authority to fix these problems. So this was avoidable. This should have never happened. There were obviously major screw-ups by Washington State and California. Well, I shouldn't even say that because I think that's their policy to be able to do that. So those are misguided policies. But the bureaucratic morass that happens when somebody will come in and claim asylum, really is a farce.